So what I'm going to be talking about in the next 3 videos is Freehand. Freehand does what it says. You can create things freehand from scratch, or you can use an existing piece and add parts to it and make it truly unique. So let's have a play with this. So if I go into the 3C's designs, and I'm going to pick this one, which is a pretty little ring in itself. So I'm going to open this ring, so I'm going to double click that, which is going to take me to the customization screen. Let's just have a look at that, and let's say that the customer really likes that but just wants a little bit more pizzazz. So on this there isn't a great deal that you can do to it. On the shank there's no facility to put stones on the shank. Setting, you can change the setting, center stone, change the shape of the center stone and so on. So this kind of lends itself to going to freehand. So let's click freehand and just have a look at some of the things we've got here. So starting from the top, we've got bales. Obviously bales are not going to be relevant to this, and the bales go from that to chains, and we'll do that in a later video. We've got some elements that we can add to this piece. Now at first they don't seem, you're probably thinking, well, what am I going to do with all those? There's a lot in there. It's all about practice. Some are very obvious, some of these floral accents, gems and settings and so on. So before I go any further on gems, what I'm going to do is just scoot down here, and what we've got is this halo closed. There's a few in here. I'm going to go for this one, it's one of my favourites, and out appears this halo. So what do all these handles do? What do these little things do as I grab them? Well, this will pull it over in this direction. I'm just going to undo that to put it back into the centre. Click that circle, that little dot, just ignore that a moment. I can pull it over this way. All these movements are not really relevant in those directions just yet. The one that I want to move is the up and downy one. So this is from Rhino 5. This is one of the features that it gave us. So you can see straight away that this needs to come down in size. And you see that parametric modeling, meaning that everything moves at the same time. Let's just have a look at that. So it's biting into the claws there, which means it's supported. Now, in my opinion, from the top down you shouldn't be able to see any daylight through here. I do see halos where you do see daylight. There's a few other options. I can change the way that looks in this direction, so it's all diamonds from the top. I prefer this little bit of a bend to it, so you get a bit of light from the sides as well. Profile width, profile height, there's lots of things that you can play around with here, the diameter of the stones and so on. So that's the most simplistic use of that. So just bear with me 2 seconds. And what else I could do is I've just flicked over to elements. This element 73, for instance. Let's just have a quick look at that. And you're probably thinking, well, what on earth is he going to do with that? Well, I just want to show you a few things. Traditionally, a halo would have some sort of support here. Now, with practice I've played around with this, that the shank can't change enough to be able to support it there. So this is just an optional idea in relation to this design. The handles are slightly different on this, and you notice it doesn't have a design stack. The halo has its own design stack, and the handles are just up, down, left, right, and so on. Where this one has these little discs on the end. Now what this allows me to do is increase and decrease the size of this, and I'm holding down Shift while doing this, so I'm just moving that around slightly to where I think I may need it, and then holding down Shift, I'm going to move that 90 degrees. I'm going to just move that over that way a little bit, then going to pull it up like so. I'm going to move it up to here, and like I say, this is one of those things that takes practice. So through finger, so I'm going to lock it to through finger so I get everything straight. I'm going to hold that to put that to there. I'm going to crash that into there. I'm going to press that down a little bit and just keep pushing and pulling it until you get the look that you're after. So just pull that over a little bit further, and let's tilt that a little bit more. Let's press it down here, pull that in, and let's squish it a little bit in this direction. Let's tilt that around there. Let's pull that up. I'm just trying to get that bit squished in there. Don't want that to poke through there too much. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to click this button here. This allows me to bend the object. This is a very, very nice, cool feature that they've given us in this respect. Now, the bend facility, you've got bend both ways, so it bends this way and this way. You've got bend kind of S direction, and then you've got one that bends it in just one at one end. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, pull the handle to this end. What I'm going to do is just bend that inside there a little bit. Let's just pull that down. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Hopefully I'm not getting into too deep water here. Let's pull that down. See how that's working. Let's go back to scale. Let's squish this in this direction a little bit. Let's just tilt that over there a bit. Let's go back to bend. Let's bend this in a little bit further. Let's go back to scale. Squish it a little bit more. Let's tilt that over that way a little bit. Let's go to 3/4 view and just see where we are with this. And let's scale it in this direction. So obtain that down to 1 mil. And I think that's looking pretty good. Remember that term I used, Stuller's always got your back. You know, if you start poking things through in the shank, they're not going to make it like that. You know, they're not silly. I've been making jewellery for a lot of years. So we need another one of those on the other side. Well, wow, I don't want to do that all over again. So I'm going to click this button. And all that does is it duplicates whatever's on this side to the other side. And hopefully you agree, that looks pretty cool. So if I go to through finger, I've got a triangle of light there, triangle of light there, 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 and there, because the finger's running through here. So I think that looks pretty in itself. Hope you agree. Let's just turn that off, and let's just have a quick look around that. And I think I might give that a quick render and see what that looks like. Okay, so this is the finished render, and I hope you agree. Beauty is now obviously of the beholder. I think this looks gorgeous. I love the way that line goes up there, that goes up to there, and as you've seen from the original design, the lines on this piece just look beautiful. Not to say that it didn't look gorgeous in itself, but I think I've added some pizzazz and beauty to that. So that's the first one of our series of freehand. Thanks a lot. See you soon.